Welcome back to the SA Sports Show. Don't forget, Phil Smythe will be joining the show again in the weeks ahead, so he's not too far away. Elbows, it's time to talk hockey with our guests, in fact, Melody Cooper and also Mark Victory. Welcome, guys. Welcome along. Tell us a little bit about where you guys are placed. Firstly, you, Melody, as far as preparation for what lies ahead.
Yeah, sure. Well, we've been training probably for about 8 weeks now, so we've got 9 weeks until we head to Darwin for the Australian Hockey League. Last year we finished 8th, so we've got the goal of achieving top 4 this year for our AHL program. But Mark and I are both co-head coaches for the AHL team, and we did it the first time last year, and Mark was actually my coach prior to then with the AHL.
And you still get along okay, which is good?
We do, yes, we had some success.
It sounds like an awfully long lead-up time, though. Given it, 17 weeks in total, that's a big prep.
It's pretty, I guess we need that preparation to establish like our pressing, our outletting, defensive structures and things, especially if we have turnover between the years with our core group. We need that time to really embed the fundamentals with the group.
And Mark, how did you get involved in hockey? I'm always interested to know why a person takes on what they take on.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. Sort of like a family sport. So my father played it back in the day. He picked it up at school.
Right.
And it just became one of those things. Once you're entrenched in the sport, it's such a great game to play.
And did you play any other sport?
Yeah, I played a lot of cricket. Played a lot of footy growing up. So. You know, as most parents.
Left hand or right hand?
Right-handed, so a little bit difficult to play hockey if you're left-handed, funnily enough.
Yeah, but they do, don't they?
They can do, some of the better players.
It's not illegal to play left-handed, is it?
The sticks are made for right hand.
Yeah, I know they are, but what's wrong with it, hitting with the back or developing a skill?
You can do that, that's correct. It's a little bit unusual, and you see some of the better players that actually.
You know what? In all my time, I didn't know that, and I've never noticed, even though I've watched so much over the years, that you couldn't play left-handed. How am I going? Is that right?
You watch ice hockey then.
I know you're serious, but you shouldn't knock yourself around. I mean, there are things that get past you.
I know, so often.
Yes.
But because I would have thought that having a left-handed player in your team, like it's like Hawthorn at the moment. We talk about left-sided players. They throw opposition teams about. So a player that has that ability, that's better than others on that side, would, I'd think, be an asset.
As Mark was saying, there's certain skills that left-handers are a lot better at than a right-hander, and so that certainly adds value, like with goal shooting and a few things like that. Okay. But it's not like ice hockey and stuff. Spot between.
And Melody, you also coach the male side as well, is that correct?
My background is I've coached the Adelaide Hockey Club, the Premier League men's program for the last 2 years. So this year, because I've just returned from maternity leave, I'm back working full time, so I'm just doing the Hot Shots state program.
Right.
Yeah, so I enjoy coaching.
How do you cope with a male disagreeing with what you've got to say?
That wouldn't happen.
That doesn't happen.
It doesn't.
Yeah, I haven't had that happen
just looking at you, I could understand that. No, you've got a lovely, serene face. So.
Oh, thanks. I've got white line fever too, though.
So
there's a competitive side.
I understand that.
Yeah.
But I used to play Div 2 men's for probably about 5 or 6 years. So a lot of the guys that are actually in the program now, I played with them when they were quite young.
So you would have earned their respect over that period of time. Tell us a little bit about your background. I know, coming from New Zealand, what drew you across to Australia in the first place?
Well, I actually came over here because my parents, my dad had a job over here, and I was supposed to be here for 3 months, and I'm here 11 years later.
Really?
So I missed out on the Athens Olympics, and I thought I'll just come and hang out with mum and dad for a little while and just regroup. And then I ended up marrying my husband, who's an Australian basketballer here, and we're very settled.
Dave Cooper, the ex-36er, of course. But you were part of an Olympic campaign previously with New Zealand?
Yes, London was the last campaign that I was part of. So I was in and out of the New Zealand team over the last 8 years.
And how does the framework of New Zealand hockey stack up to what you're presented with here in SA?
That's quite different. I think New Zealand and Hockey SA, like I think Hockey SA has developed a lot over the last 8 years, and I think the programs and the development that we've put in place has improved immensely, and we've got, you know, a number of players playing in an Australian team with the girls side of things. The men, it's a bit different. Like we've got a lot of work, I guess, still to do, and it's probably a 4-year project for us to actually get some Australian players beyond the Junior World Cup level. So yeah, it's.
So Mark, how do you put that together, knowing that there needs to be improvements? How do you provide the foundation to build to the level you need to go?
As Melody touched on before, I think it's a matter of, you know, keeping a core nucleus together if we can do, and you know, we've made a conscious decision to select local athletes rather than go for too many imports. So we're giving these guys the opportunities. You know, if we can keep them together long enough, we'll have some success, and then selectors can't knock that.
Do you have a plentiful supply of people that want to play the game?
It tends to be fairly constant. I mean, Hockey SA have, you know, challenges, obviously, attracting juniors and that sort of stuff, compared to, you know, your AFLs and things like that.
What's an ideal size of a male, for example?
I don't know. If you're talking about AFL, you're probably looking at it like a midfielder sort of size. An ideal size would be, you know, somewhere around about the 85 to 90 kilos. That's around about 6 foot. But hockey's a bit of a funny game where, you know, you have your endurance. I don't know how you need to have, as well as your technical skill.
I don't know how you do it, to be honest with you. I reckon running upright is hard.
Yeah,
when you run with a stick.
Walking just recently.
Yeah, I noticed.
I walked here, and it was hard.
Yeah.
But if you look at the way they prep an AFL player, there are certain benchmarks they need to hit.
Yep.
How do they line up against a hockey, as far as you mentioned endurance and speed being key components? How do they match up?
Quite similar.
Yeah, they really.
You know, we're pushing our athletes for beep tests. So we're looking at least minimum level 14, which is it's you know, quite up there as far as AFL goes.
And how much time do you put into training?
So with our campaign leading up, we're 3 sessions a week, full on. On top of that, the athletes
what length of time?
Sessions are 90 minutes.
Really?
So,
full bore?
Yep.
Really on the go, non-stop?
Yeah, definitely. And then we add top-up running if we think that the tempo has dropped off on the pitch. And then we also have games that we rotate through those 3 sessions as well.
Yeah. And do you line up yourself with prospective opponents now? Do you have, for want of a better term, scouts scouting your opposition? It's
a little bit trickier to do that. We kind of have to go off last year's matches or the internationals that are in the Kookaburra squads. That's kind of how we model different states and what their strengths are. With some of the games that we play, we try and get opposition to simulate like the New South Wales structure or the Queensland structure to help us with our preparation, because the states change. Yeah.
Now, you've come from New Zealand. Will we see you here permanently?
At this stage, yes, I've got no reason to move back to New Zealand. Like, it's quite easy to fly over there and catch up with family. And yeah, I'm well entrenched here in Adelaide. I've got a good job. I love coaching here, and yeah, my family and friends are all based here too. Given that you've played at the elite level, is there aspirations then to coach beyond state level for both yourself and Mark? That's, yeah, good question. I'm enjoying the AHL side at the moment, and for me, I haven't really been coaching men's elite for a long period of time, so I'm still, I guess, working out my coaching philosophies and things with the group. So beyond, yeah, I'm not too sure if that suits me in 5 years' time. Who knows? But yeah.
Yourself, for myself, I'm happy doing it semi-professionally. It's not something I see as a career path. I've got a younger brother. He's a professional coach over in Perth. He works with the Hockey Row program. And he said don't do it, or?
Well, he's got insomnia, so he's probably learning not to do it.
Well, that Perth, I think probably on the back of Charles, where there's always been one that's been, has it changed over the years? Has hockey, you know how football has these changes in the way a team approaches a game over the years. Has there been obvious ones in the way elite programs have changed?
Yeah, the game's evolved a bit. So it used to be 2 halves, and now we have 4 quarters. Yeah. And there's always different rules that change as well. So, you've got to stay in contact with the international side quite regularly, and we have World Leagues and Champions Leagues that we watch and pull from. But yeah, Perth is the hockey hub for Hockey Australia. So we have some players that are based in Perth.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, Aidan, good luck with the next couple of months in preparation. Well done. Thanks for joining us today.
That's right.
Fantastic. Good work. There's Hockey SA, Melody Cooper and Mark Victory from the sport that they love, joining us on the SA Sports Show. We'll be talking more sport after this break.